Hello paragliding pilots. When should we trim tune our paragliders? Well, I'd recommend if you have Dyneema mainlines that it's going to be within the first 50 hours. And then if it's Aramid mainlines, then the first 100 hours. And so here's an example, a glider that was trim tuned. This is the delivered condition, and we want all green results, but we have red in here, so that's the areas that are out of factory tolerance. After we've measured this, and the colors here for yellow across the A row, B row, C row are line groups. The same. The blues are all going to one main line, the greens are going to one main line for those specific rows on those mullions. And the orange ones are the stabilo lines. And then after we've made our adjustments, this is what we have here. Everything's all in the green. Everything's plus or minus 10 meters, or within. Plus or minus 10, not beyond that. Looks hunky-dory, but that isn't the gist of it all. There's a lot more to this, which you should be aware of. If you look at the graphs here, let me move my cursor here. In the delivery condition up here, you can see there's two red horizontal lines, and we want everything, the results, to be within them or between them, not beyond them. So if you look at this one here, we have this is the profile. The glider's going from flying left to right, leading edge over here, trailing edge here. So the reds are the A row, blue's the B row, purple's the C row, and the yellow is the brakes. Brakes breach the red horizontal line, as well as the A, B, and C rows are above the red horizontal lines. And then over to the right here, we can see that the line groups are being revealed, so you can see which of the red A rows are beyond. And this is to be, the big ears. And then over here, the B rows are the blues, and purples, C row, and so forth. So this is how it was delivered, how it was measured initially. And then we made our adjustments. You can see that we got everything in between the red horizontal lines for the A, B, and C rows, as well as all the line groups. But there's one more step be wary of, and that's pitch brake and pitch speed. And so we take those line groups that we had colored yellow, blue, green for each of the rows, A, B, C rows, and we compare them to the B row. The B rows are medium, or we compare, we balance it. So we're looking for, we don't want pitch speed. If you look at my hand here, my thumb's the leading edge. This is pitch brake and this is pitch speed. So, and we don't want it like this, like a banana, where your trailing edge and your leading edge are lower than your B row. So we don't want this scenario, pitch brake. We don't want this scenario, pitch speed. We want to balance. And we don't want it to end them like this. No bananas. And so we're comparing here the B row to the A row and the C row. There's no more than 4 millimeters difference between the B row. So the A cannot be beyond 4 from what B is, and C can't be beyond 4 millimeters from what B is as well. And that gives you a perfect trim. And so this glider met this parameters, and this is at 250 hours on an old Triangle XC3. But if you look at the mounting loops here, this is the after retrim. All the adjustments are here in red. Quite a few adjustments. If you look at before, we had all single loops on the A row mullions and the B row, and then we had double loops from the factory on the C row and the stabilos. That's what it was before. But 4 hours later, adjustments to get this thing in factory trim. Look what we got here. All these red ones are all the changes. We even had to make loops at the upper end of the main lines on a couple lines, because just doing the mullions wasn't enough. But perfect trim was accomplished. So if you get your glider trim tuned at a shop and you don't get a graph like this, you just get a table like that, be wary. You can have all green here and not be within proper pitch balance. And another aspect of a glider this age is that it does no good to even trim tune a glider that's got a couple 100, 300 hours on it if you're not doing the other maintenance checks. The porosity, the sail cloth strength and line break testing with aramid lines. So these things are important as well. Now, if gliders within the first 50 to 100 hours, you don't have to do those other maintenance checks. Just the trim tune is most important. And once you've got that done, you're going to be good for a couple more years if you're flying 50 hours a year before you have to redo it. But when you get to that second point of doing a retrim, you want to make sure you do your other maintenance checks. The porosity, silk cloth strength, line break tests as well, because those are really important. Take care.